So hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another video. And first of all, I am really sorry, Mr. Paladin Tank, because in this dungeon, or in these two dungeons actually, I was being a massive tit. At some point it became a competition between me and the elemental shaman. For some bloody reason we started running ahead and pulling, and usually I just try to be as polite as possible. Even if the tank is painfully slow, I always wait for him. I did not wait for this tank, and he wasn't being slow at all. It's actually a very good tank, but we were just being a massive tits. That's it. So I'm sorry. He'll probably never see this, but I'm sorry regardless. So that's that out of the way. From the title of this video, you probably already figured out what I'm going to talk about. Moonkins. Yes. Why I love being a moonkin. Why I just straight up love being a moonkin, and why, in my opinion, moonkin is the best spec in the game right now. And before someone starts shouting that I'm wrong and it's not true, it's my opinion, it's the internet, just deal with it, okay? And with that out of the way, let's talk about some moonkiny goodness. In my opinion, Moonkin is the best DPS class. It's not the highest DPS class. There are classes that can do a lot more DPS, and they can do it more reliably than a Moonkin, but you have the best toolkit out of these DPS classes, because you have many great skills. You have the best spell in the game. You have Stampeding Roar, and you can always spot a good balance druid in a raid, because he's not just doing DPS, he is this massive support cannon, firing love and pure goodness at everyone who needs it. Not long ago, a couple of months back, I released two point of view videos. It was Malkorok Heroic and Korkorn Dark Shaman Heroic, and I would like to look back at the Malkorok Heroic video. Someone pointed out that for a guy who makes guides for balance druids, my DPS wasn't spectacular, okay, and my dot uptime wasn't perfect. Oh my god, he makes guides and his dot uptime isn't 110%. How is that possible? Completely oblivious to the fact that at the end of the video I used Displacer Beast and Suicide just to save the entire raid. And that person will always be out there. Always. Now, it's the person that complains about you going down on the DPS meter because you just popped Heart of the Wild and you're desperately trying to keep everyone alive. That kind of person will always be there. And you know what? Fuck that person. That person is not a very good balance druid. You are for supporting your raid. Good balance druid is willing to sacrifice DPS so other people can survive, so other people can shine. One particular situation comes to my mind when I'm talking about this, and it's Megara Heroic. On that encounter, 80% of the time someone will die because he was kiting the Icy Torment, or whatever it's called, to the back of the room, and Rampage happened. Okay, and he just died on his way back because you need to run around these icy puddles and they are everywhere towards the end, and you're taking shit ton of damage. So the outcome of this situation is either a dead DPS, a dead raid, you're wiping, because if it's a healer, you're dead. You can't survive a rampage without one healer. It's just not happening. Or that person needs to blow every single defensive cooldown he has to get back. And defensive cooldowns on Megara Heroic are really bloody precious. Okay? Every time this situation happened, the first thing I did was stop doing DPS, Displacer Beast back through the icy beams, popping Stampeding Roar and throwing Rejuvenation at that person. You know what that caused? It caused me to go down on the DPS meter. You know, Megara is really good for boomkins, so I was pretty high up. I didn't give a damn. The second Rampage was about to start, and that person was back there, I Displacer Beast away from the boss. I pop Stampeding Roar, I throw Rejuvenation on him, and every single goddamn time this happened, we both made it back. So what do you think is better? Is it better for you to be the top DPS and have a dead raid member and probably fail to defeat a boss because you're too bloody selfish to help out? Or to be third on the damage meter with a nice boss skill? Another situation that comes to mind is Tortoise. Okay, on Tortoise, when we were progressing normal mode, we had a tank that was apparently made out of paper, and he was constantly dying to the bats. So instead of being in solar eclipse and being all, ha, big numbers bitches, popping down mushrooms and hurricaning like mad, because our tank was dying all the bloody time, I was in lunar eclipse, rocking Astral Storm, because it lowers the attack speed of the bats. So the tank isn't getting hit as often. And once again, by doing this, I have lowered my damage significantly, because in solar eclipse you can do so much more in terms of AoE. But it felt really good because I allowed our healers to play more efficiently. Okay, they were more relaxed as a result, and they didn't have to use these incredibly inefficient heals. Holy crap, I'm blowing an awful lot of smoke up my arse. Let's stop that. But these situations, when you're not just another DPS, you're not there to just lower the boss's HP. These will make your class feel special. It will make you feel like you're an important asset of the raid group, because as a result of you being there, other people have a better time. Okay, healers have more mana because of your innervate, and if you're doing things such as using Astral Storm to reduce the tank damage, they can play in a much more relaxed fashion, which means they're more efficient with their mana. Or just something as simple as popping Stampeding Roar at the right time. You're not just increasing your own DPS, you're increasing the DPS of everyone else, because they can get to the boss much faster, which means they can start doing DPS much faster. And that's just one of the aspects I love about being a Moonkin. The fact that you're not just another DPS that's there to lower the HP of, random boss. You are a lot more than just another DPS if you know how to use your toolkit. Next is the simplicity of a balanced druid. The rotation is incredibly simple, but your damage comes from other things. Your damage comes from your cooldown, so your cooldowns need to be used properly and at the right time. Okay, preferably with Bloodlust and all your procs. But sometimes it's actually better to use cooldown outside of Bloodlust. Okay? And it comes from micromanaging your dots. So they are doing as much damage as possible, and they are giving you as many shooting stars as possible. But the biggest factor in Moonkin DPS is knowledge about the encounter you are currently doing. Because a Moonkin that's at the same skill level as you will do more DPS if he knows what's gonna happen and when it's gonna happen than you if you are clueless about a particular encounter. Because as a Moonkin, you can't just jump from one eclipse to another. So if you need to do a lot of single target DPS and you are in solar eclipse, that DPS will just not happen. Or if you want massive burst AoE damage and you're out of an eclipse, you're heading towards lunar, once again, that AoE damage is not gonna happen. And that's another aspect I love about Moonkins. Preparation pays off so much. If you get ready for a boss and you are in the right eclipse at the right time, every bloody time, you're gonna kick so much ass. You'll have to buy a specialized shoe polish for ass kicking. It's as simple as that. You have knowledge, you can apply that knowledge, and you are successful. You win. Isn't that the definition of skill? Next aspect of this class and spec I really like might sound weird to you, but it's the feeling of the class. It feels like a druid. Even though you're a balanced druid, you are doing damage, you're still a druid. Druids heal this world. They maintain balance. Okay? And it feels like that. It feels like it should, in my opinion. Because you're a druid. You are still healing even though you're a DPS. You are constantly maintaining balance. The Eclipse system. You're constantly maintaining balance between the use of nature powers and arcane powers. Arcane power is very dangerous. Okay? Nature powers, not so much. You know, they're very good. They heal things. But arcane powers, dangerous, destroy things. So you're constantly maintaining the balance. You're not tipping the scales towards, you know, too much good, as in nature, and too much bad, as in arcane. You're constantly maintaining balance, and you still feel like you are supposed to heal this world, that you are actually helping. That's important to me. I'm not a big role player. I would not call myself that. Just look at the name of my druid. But, you know, I care about the lore. Not Pandaria lore. I'm not mad or anything. Don't call doctors on me. But generally, the Warcraft lore is good. You know, and if your character fits and he feels like he should, it's good. It is very good. And the last thing, at least for this video, I could talk for hours why I love balanced druids, okay, and how much I love balanced druids. It's fun. It's so much fun to play a druid. That should be the deciding factor when you're choosing a class. Are you having fun while playing this class? If yes, good. If not, then why the hell are you playing your class? There were very few occasions where I got frustrated because I am a druid. Most of the time, it's something else. Just the amount of stuff you can do and the amount of stuff you have to think about. It's amazing. You're doing a boss fight for the 3rd time and you're still running around and thinking, maybe I could drop a mushroom here, or maybe I should hurricane there, or maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that. Should I save innervate for this time? Should I trank when this happens? There is just so much stuff to think about. It's just straight up fun. Okay, every time I'm on my druid and I'm balanced, I'm having fun. Even though I don't like running dungeons because the dungeons are boring, I am still having fun if I'm on my druid. It's just fun. It's just fun. That's the most important thing. Is it fun? Yes. Good. And that's it for this video. It's been a lot of rambling, but I just love talking about balanced druids. And I thank you all for watching. I will see you next time. But before you leave, I would like you to leave me a comment. Describe what makes your class special and maybe why you think boomkins are good. You know, I would just love to read that. So yeah, I will see you next time. Bye bye.